Why we're all here today. That's why I think a lot of the people are joined in today. The Internet Invitational.
I mean, the Paige thing is one shot on one hole, right? That has a very direct outcome. But it's essentially the same thing as like if you have a bush in front of you, you go in and you just go in the bush and usually
I've done that many times.
and in a normal hole. Now the Meloi thing is potentially a start to finish every shot affecting situation. There was some talks in like the episode before about like his rangefinder and cliffhangers.
I have not seen proof that the slope was on.
I don't know.
If you're him and you know you didn't do it, but then the court of public opinion is just, it's up to them. And it's just like,
Pop's not coming today, Pete.
What do you mean he's not coming?
Pop's not coming.
He said
I
that
thought
he
he
would
was.
do 5 o'clock.
He's back at the DMV.
There have been more
that's
messages
a
since
joke.
those messages.
Are you joking me right now? Dude, this is a bit. This is some
I
kind of
The
think
DMV is crazy.
I'll be honest with you. At this point, with the amount of time that he's gone between Florida DMV, California DMV, and Pennsylvania DMV, I don't want to make any accusations, but it feels to me as though he's running some sort of underage ID ring, as in he's going to the DMV twice a week to get a real ID, and he's flipping them to high school kids for a quick buck. And if he can get through the DMV quick enough, it's a good game.
But how many people
today,
look
where
like
he's been there
Pop?
for a few hours, I don't know if it's worth a few $100 he's going to get.
Do you think maybe that's why he deviated from like really skinny Pop to like heavier set Pop so he can get multiple different people who look like him?
I think he's
You
moving.
know what I'm saying?
states,
Like
too. I think he's moving states too.
He's adjusting his image.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But not
one
for
he has proof.
nothing. It's 5 o'clock on a Saturday. Is the Philadelphia DMV?
It's closed.
It's clearly open.
Well, he sent a picture. It's the first time he's ever sent a photo from the actual DMV with proof.
But that was 2 hours ago. How long are you at the DMV for?
They take a long time. DMV.
Yeah, he's now checking to see if the DMV is like. Well, there's, for those who may not be following, there is a running thing where Pop will miss things a lot for the DMV. But the thing with Pop, and I know he's watching it, like the thing with Pop's excuses, like I would rather him just say like, "Hey, I can't make it," or honestly, don't even say why you can't. Just be like, "Hey, I can't do that time" or whatnot. He'll throw in things that just make you question if it's real or not. It's like classic stomach ache type excuse stuff.
The diarrhea is a good one that he's used.
I'll be honest with you. In my quick search of the Philadelphia area driver's license centers, they're pretty much all closing at 4:15 on Saturdays.
Yeah, you're on the weekend time now, baby.
Is there a single one, Stu, that is open by 5?
I'm on my 8th location and 9th. They're all 4:15, Bob.
Bob, and by the way, the strike of 5, those people are gone. They aren't doing overtime.
Yeah, but if you're in line, they might let you wait. They might close the doors at 4:15.
They shut it early so that they don't have to do that. Those people don't stay a second longer than they have to.
I talked to him on the phone. It sounded like a DMV to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I wouldn't put it by him to put audio recording
Where's
on
Jensen?
the back too.
Grocery stores sound a lot like DMVs as well.
Yeah, that is fair.
By the way, where's J-Bone?
What do you mean?
Well, this is the pod. I thought he was coming on the pod.
It wouldn't shock me if he was in the chat somewhere.
Has Jensen ever been on this podcast?
Yeah, the last couple times I think he has.
He's been on a few times. Yeah.
Nice. I mean, look, I was pretty removed this week for Yankees fantasy camp, so I mean, but what can I say? You know, I'm not in a great position right now to be able to take shots at people, but look, that's where we're. My body's broken, dude. You would think that it's just playing baseball. That's one thing, but 1 week of playing baseball, mind you, the average age was maybe 70 years old. My body is so sore from playing. You just don't move those types of muscles. Sliding, dude. I didn't think I'd be sliding past the age of 25.
Yo, what is Yankees? Can you explain it? I don't understand. I've
It's
never
wild.
seen anything like it. And then it's wild.
These guys go and they play at George Steinbrenner Field, and there's coaches. The coaches are like old Yankees, so like Shane Spencer, like yeah, dude, and they dress up.
Mike Moustakas.
No, Mike
No,
Mussina.
who
Mike
is Mussina? Mussina.
Mike Mussina.
Yeah.
Dude, older than that. Like Mike Mussina would be. These guys would go
Shoeless
nuts.
Joe Jackson.
Some old guys.
Altuve.
They go and they play, and it's it was a week. And now look, people don't want to hear about Yankees fantasy camp as much as it might be riveting. I know that they do want to hear about, and that is the Internet Invitational. That's why we're all here today. That's why I think a lot of the people are joined in today. Overall thoughts, Internet Invitational has been out. We said that we truly do believe it was some of the for the best tournament ever filmed, possibly the best YouTube video ever filmed, and we really meant it, fellas. Thoughts on the overall Internet Invitational? Let's get right into it.
Benjamin?
I mean, okay, I thought it was, looking back at everything that went into it, I couldn't imagine. I don't know how it came all together so well. And I think it was the perfect mix. If I'm being honest, I don't know what people necessarily were expecting from it when it came to like a YouTube golf event. But I think with what we were expecting in terms of the YouTube golf world and our world combined with foreplay and the Barstool world, I think it was, in my opinion, the perfect mix. And like, there's things that came out of it that some people may have liked, they may have not liked, but I will say that I think was the idea to create an environment that had never been created before with these entities and these groups, and to see what happens. And it just kind of came together how it did. There were cameras, they filmed everything that happened, they put out everything that happened, and it's the world got to witness a great series.
Yeah, I don't think we've all been together to talk like the Quan thing. I mean, which kind of seems like an afterthought now that the final is out. But the Quan thing, I think we've all said it, to some degree, that it was surprising the way he acted about it after he had slept in. Of course, the whole thing came to it, didn't have the greatest attitude. But right now, in regards to the Meloi rangefinder, Paige and France doing it, I think people would have enjoyed it as is, because like you said, you had all those people together. You have Dave around YouTube golf, but that just added to it and really created this. It created legs of its own. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it, like somebody said, it was like watching a reality TV show that just happened to be on a golf course. And I think that is a pretty good way to sum it up. They do like Surviving Barstool or some of these other shows. So they're very accustomed to having shit go awry. And like, somebody does something out of line, or somebody says something that crosses someone else, and then there's a reaction. So like, it was very cool for me to see that their camera crew, like their production team, was on every single second. Like they were dialed into people's faces. They were watching the reactions. So like, even the end, like the fact that they got every interaction that Beef had with every single person who came up, it was like they were just so ready for anything that came up. And it really, I mean, I think it says, a good part of what they do. But I think if you would have put that task in another, team's hands, they might not have done it as well as the Barstool team did. So that, and on top of that, I thought that the production of it, Jed, I know that you were involved with Brendan and they had a team of people doing it, but I thought it was so well edited, which made it so easy to watch as well. Like the golf, like especially the first 2 days, you had so many different matches and shots going on. They did a really great job of like doing picture and interviews and people talking while still showing the matches. And I mean, it was a tough production to nail, and I thought that they just did an unbelievable job. It was like watching a live broadcast of a PGA Tour event with the way that it was edited. It looked amazing, and the content was awesome. So home run.
Yeah, I mean, I think there were concerns from that side of it. I don't know if, like, I know a lot of people have been asking like how it went. I think there were concerns before it starts from everybody about how they were going to, or how we were going to put it together in like a digestible way to watch when it was created. And I will say, I didn't edit one, like all the physical editing was done by Barstool. They have a lot of people. They basically broke down the matches for between them, their guys. They edited all the matches individually, and then they kind of went through. And obviously, Brendan Jones, pretty much, he's producer of Barstool. He led the whole thing. And then after that, they decided kind of how they were going to piece the storyline together. And then I ended up, looking at them as they came in and helping out after that in terms of like, do we want to do this? Do we want to cut that? What are we showing? Like keeping it that YouTube golf feel. So when they sent me the first one, I was like, not concerned, but I was like, all right, what are we going to see? And then when I saw the way that they had originally styled it, we knew we had like a home run. We just had to tweak it and make it more, for YouTube. So yeah, I would say they did. I think they deserve a lot of credit. A lot of people were like messaging me like, as if I had done it. I helped out a little bit, but it's all credit to the guys over there.
Brendan, man, what a guy. That guy killed it.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is like the format, the production part of it is obviously a huge lift and very difficult. But I think the format that we landed on really just it really played very well to the unpredictability of it, and that what kind of caught everybody in and gave everybody a chance. I mean, yeah, it feels like a combination of Survivor and like The Bachelor almost, with the drafts and the picking the teams, a little bit of Beast Games, and then like a tour coverage golf event. So you sort of had this like cherry picking of all these great things that come across a lot of really successful, good entertainment products, right? And then I think I don't know if I expected it to turn out, at least with the first one, as good of a final product as it ended up being. I just assumed, and probably everyone did to some extent, there'd be some sort of learning curve or things that we saw that, with maybe a little more time, or we could button up that might be better for the ones to come. And it really didn't feel like there was any like glaring holes or anything like that in the videos like that I saw for sure. I think, we all did a good job on the front end of our conversations between us and Barstool, guys, of really thinking through from start to finish what all these format, course setup, dinners, draft timing, who's going to be where, who's allowed where, who can do what. I think we that effort that we put in on the front end to play everything out to the finish line and not let anything maybe potentially fall through the cracks. I think that paid off clearly. I've heard nothing but good things from people that have loved it, were locked into it, couldn't wait for the next one to come out. I mean, it was a serious amount of watch time to get through. So, it has to be good and captivating to get somebody to watch that much golf. And I think people did. I didn't hear really anybody that said, yeah, I watched the first couple and I just couldn't hang in there. If anything, it was like, well, God, I can't wait for this next one to come out. I can't wait these few days. So to me, it's only going to get better. And this is a hell of a bar to set.
There's a lot of people too that they'll like look for something to nitpick on it. Like, it's so hard to please everybody, but at the same time, it really did. I don't think I saw really anything bad. I think people, when they first saw the watch time, how long it was, they were a little bit worried I might have said something, but then they started it and then they see the draft and they understand, I think, why it's long. And the people you have, like the fact that you have Gruden hyping us up, and then you got guys like the Duke, and then of course you have like Grant, like there's this whole assortment of people. Shout out to Yams for holding it down for us, because it was naughty what Riggs did to steal Yams, and it was funny. That was good for content. I know you appreciated it, Yams, but when we all went down, it was like, fuck, we lost such a big portion of Bob to Sports. And you came in, Yams, and held it the fuck down, because we really wanted, of course, we were going to be in the car, but some sort of presence playing that our fans could root for. So you held it down.
So, yeah, I mean, I got very lucky in the sense that I have not played that. Like, I'm not a good golfer by any means. I'm probably like an 18 or 20 handicap. Like, I don't take it seriously. We fuck around. Like, me and you sometimes will play a little bit more, like dial in more shots, but when we play in the videos, it's not serious, at all, at least in my like golf game perspective. I haven't played that well, especially on the second day when I was with George Bryant. I haven't played that well since I was like 18. I got so lucky. I was dialed in. I was happy that I was able to perform. The first day I was playing with Peter Finch and he carried me. I made a couple putts. And then obviously I played with George Bryan the second. Those are two of the best golfers in the whole thing. So a lot of that comes down to who you're paired with. But I was happy that I could show up, make a couple putts, help out with.
You did more than a couple putts, dude. You were
lights out. I helped represent, the brand in a good way. And that was the other thing that you mentioned. Like that was the one complaint I saw, which obviously you can't control. And it was annoying me. People are like, oh, Bob's, because your team did have, if you look at YouTube golf, your team had the name brand guys. Like it just did. You guys had the Warriors, the 2016 Warriors. And when you guys got knocked out, everybody they were saying, they were like, it's not fair. They need to come up a way where like the name brands can't get knocked out. It's like, bro, this is how like life works. Like if you watch the PGA Tour on Sunday and it's two random ass guys, you're not like, it's not fair. They didn't put Scotty Scheffler in the final round. Like this is how it works. So there was concern that the viewership might go there, but I think once the second round started, people were just dialed in again. And I'm glad I could, show up a little bit and represent.
I'll be honest with after the draft part of it was so much fun. I did realize about halfway through where I was like, wow, we are very content heavy that if we go down, we're losing some pretty big names. I think Grant, Garrett. We went back to the cabin that night, and I really felt on paper we had the better team. Like I felt really confident. I don't know about you guys, but I remember we were kind of talking in the car. Like I really thought we would come out and win that. Obviously, it didn't turn out that way. But then I think me and Joe were talking about like you see some of the names like Josh Richards going last. Nobody really knew his game. That was wild. Pete might have fallen a little farther.
Roger
should have.
Chazzy was a C. He was tiered at C.
Yeah, and they had Chaz, Roger, Peter Finch, Dalkey. I mean, they had guys
Winter played her ass off.
Oh yeah. They had guys falling out of control. And Riggs played really good for the first match. I know against Mason. I agree with you, Bob. On paper, when I was looking at it, I was like, yo, we have a stud. Plus, they had George Bryan. They had George Bryan and Dalkey. And then they had, and then, of course, for Quan to not show up for the first match, that was one of our aces in the hole that just didn't show up, That being said, I will say the Quan thing being the first episode, I think that it couldn't have happened in a better way in the sense that people were hooked. There was all this drama. There was all this dialogue outside of just the golf. So like the next match coming in, people were like hooked and wanted to see what was going to happen. If that Quan stuff doesn't happen in the first episode, I don't know if the retention of how many people come in, like I think it helped, like as crazy as it sounds.
I just, the only thing I would say about that is, no, you are right. The Quan situation, obviously it's long past. Oversleep, like people oversleep. We film sometimes, and like we filmed a couple weeks ago at Ballon Isles. I overslept. I was more annoyed that people were upset at you guys for not waking him up. As
that
if
was
like
crazy,
bro. As if you're like his mom, and it's like it'd be one thing if he had like told somebody, like, hey, and I don't know if he did or didn't, but like, I came in from this flight. I oversleep. Wake me up for the thing. But I saw people were like, Bob didn't have his guys ready. It's like, bro, we're adults here. Like, just put the hand up. I overslept. And move on. I think that was to your point. People were just kind of looking for things to just like nitpick and say. It's like, we like waking somebody up is the least of our priorities, in life at this point.
What's going on, folks? It's Fat Perez. I told myself this year I'm going to get to a Bills home game, the last season in the old stadium before going into the new stadium next year. And that's why I want to give a special shout out to the sponsor of today's podcast, SeatGeek. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek. Concerts, sporting events, festivals, you name it. NFL season's in full swing, NBA's back, NHL's going to. SeatGeek is the place to be. And you're getting the right ticket. They've got the green dot, red dot system. Green dot, you're getting a great value, probably something you want to lean towards. Red dot on the ticket, if you're looking at another spot around the stadium. And of course, we got a code for you guys. Use BDS Podcast 10 for 10% off your next set of tickets. That's right, 10% off any tickets using promo code BDS Podcast 10. Big thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's podcast.
Well, also too, like, so if you look, when I find out I'm on the range, which if you've been to Big Cedar, like that's a far way back. Like by the time we got over to him, his tee time would have already been. So yeah, some of those stuff was coming up. So I think one thing, again, on paper, I really felt we were better. A move that had no chance. Me and Wesley going into the alt shot against George and Chaz, that never stood a chance. Like Chaz is so good. That never, now granted, we needed some big swing matches to hit. Like we were down so much, we needed some of those things to hit. That never stood a chance. So I would take that back for sure. But when we lost, it was such a team aspect to it, and going and rooting on the other matches was so much fun that I was really gutted when we lost. Like money aside, just team wise, not being able to keep playing, it really, really sucked.
Dude, being in a competitive environment like that, like I know we do our videos, and like the last time I was in a competitive environment like that for real was in high school. So it's like you're playing, and it's like this is real deal.
Mine was fantasy camp. I was just there, so I would know.
Yeah. But you're like when you see like when you need to make a shot or you got a teammate and the money's obviously there and you want to advance, it's like intense, and especially in I think my first 2 of the matches. The other matches are over. It's winding down, and all of a sudden, these carts are starting to gather around you, and you get this feel like you're in some sort of like real Ryder Cup. Like it was a lot of fun, and it was cool to be in that competitive environment, like for real, like to feel those juices.
I've never played competitive golf. Like that was a first for me. I know FP you have, but I have never even been in a golf tournament, like in a real, aside from like a pro-am, I've never even been in a golf tournament.
Sports major.
Well, yeah, sure. But I mean, like at the end of the day, like you had pressure on you to like step up for your team. Like you wanted to be the guy who made a big shot, like to say like at the end, like you said, Yaman, to go and be like, we won, let's go. And you're checking the scoreboard on your phone. So for me, I thought it was fucking awesome, like playing, and Mac was playing lights out. But every shot, all of a sudden you kind of feel it wasn't even about the money at that point because we were so far removed from like the final, but it was just about like the team aspect and coming through and making the big moment for your team, you know?
Well, that's another reason the final product looks so good is because the shots really matter. It comes through like the editing and the filming, how intense it really was out there. Cause it wasn't like it wasn't like a collab YouTube video where you're just messing around. It was like the real deal.
Yeah. It felt more like high school and college golf, and maybe like a little bit member guestish, because it's not individual. So it doesn't have like a true like golf tournament vibe to it because you're not like on an island and you're worried about what's going on around on different holes. But it's more than just like winning your flight and getting some pro shot credit and, hitting the bar afterwards. Like there's a real like feel to it, I think the other thing too is like what's not happening real time that it's like that everything that you're doing is going to come out later. And like I think that almost like it's not even sometimes the pressure to play in the moment. It's the like oh shit, like in a few months somebody's gonna see me, I've got this 4-footer that means the world. And I'm gonna get like the oohs and ahs if I miss it now, and I'm gonna get them again in a few months by the whole world. So it's like this little level of pressure that like has like 2 stages to it. Like I'm sure Luke felt horrendous in the moment, had to get through that day, but in the back of his mind, he knows these videos are coming out later too. So it's like
I don't think he felt horrendous in the moment, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's chilling.
It's like being found guilty, and then you've got like a month till you get sentenced. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it's like you've got these 2 things that are waiting on you, and I don't know. I mean, I don't think about that stuff much. Like when we're making videos, as far as like if I hit like a shank or like I miss like a putter, like I don't really care that it's going to come out later, but like there's something about this invitational that was just like, I don't know. This is like the time to play your golf. And if you can't do it now, it's like, this is the type of player you are.
I think with that said, I wonder for like Meloi and Paige, and I talked to them both a little bit, but like I do wonder if they saw the thing that happened with Quan and the steam that took, like
Oh,
it
for
went
sure.
crazy. Like we knew it was going to be big. Like nobody denied. Like everybody knew it was going to be big. But then you see the Quan thing take the golf world by storm. Like everybody posting about it, and then if they're watching and they're like, "Oh my god."
You know what the craziest thing is, and I guess we've talked about it a little, and you might disagree. Like I still, again, like if you really want to get into the weeds of it, I have not seen like proof that the slope was on. So like I don't even. It's the craziest footage. Like if this was the NFL, I don't think they'd be able to like overturn it.
Inconclusive.
Like he mentioned, like there just isn't. He
Well,
mentioned
the thumb thing though, when he
but
slides,
you don't,
like people are
but
saying
you
that
don't
that's
see it. You don't, and then people were showing the rangefinder, showing this, showing that. At the end of the day, again, I know this was for money, and I don't like. People are upset about it, whether it's a rules infraction, or they think it is, or they just want to be angry. But they're just characters in the show, in the reality show that happened, and it ended up providing entertainment for the people who are watching. It wasn't planned by any means. It just happened, and it's like I don't think people need to overreact in the way that they are. In a way, I understand the rules and from the golf side, but it's I don't know. It's an interesting thing to think about and to see the reaction. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't know. I mean,
I disagree.
I don't know. I don't know. I
On
don't
what
think,
part?
I mean,
I
listen,
don't-
there's people like Beef who now, obviously Beef was with his passing, it was people were rooting for that team even more. But like, if you just look at him and like what he was wanting to do with that money, like that is life-changing
That's
money for someone
true.
like that. So for someone, I'm not saying he cheated or not, but for someone to even consider cheating in that situation, you're
Yes.
putting people's futures at stake for
Yes.
your own ill will and your own benefit. It's very selfish.
Totally.
It's
No.
it's
That's a
horrible
bad,
thing.
that is a bad thing. I meant in terms of there not being like full conclusive proof to me that he cheated, one, and two, when they asked Paige on the green and she said, I didn't know you couldn't do that. If you take her word for that, then she didn't know she couldn't do that. It's not like you cannot then say that she maliciously moved things around. Maybe you can believe she did or didn't, but that's all I'm saying.
The
Porno
thing that
handled it pretty good too by saying like, okay, it's done. At that point, he asked him on God.
Yeah.
And like at that point, you're right. There's nothing else they could do to prove it. So he asked him, he said, it's it. And then they kept playing, right? Like
the thing
he handled it well.
that was wild to me. This I didn't. Obviously, we were there. We heard everyone talking. Like we knew what was coming out. What I did not know, and I was watching it unfold, like on Instagram and everything, and on the internet, leading up to it. Before the last episode, there were videos of like Meloi cheating or being suspected of cheating outside of, like, you had the rangefinder that was being discussed. Micah was going at him about that. So that was building up and some other things. So that definitely didn't help his cause by any means.
Well, again, they filmed what happened. It's like
Of course.
if somebody was running around naked on the course and doing cartwheels, they would have put that in the video.
Oh, for
But
sure. I'm not
instead,
talking from the
no,
production.
I'm not even saying to your side. I'm just saying like this, like it was just what happened, and it was shown. And I still don't think you could conclusively say one way or another what happened. I think it's good for conversation. I think it's a shame for them. And also like, they're still in the YouTube golf space. Like, I don't know somebody I saw said it where like, if you go on a reality show and then like you're villainized, you just kind of go back to your regular job or whatever, but this is their regular job and it's their life. So I just don't know. I don't know. It's a interesting thing. And I think it's good
Bobby
for,
Bobby was like way in with Dave on Meloi, and it would be like me going against Bob and saying like, and so it's, there's a lot of different elements to it. And you think about it, it's like those guys are in a group together. So like, yeah, it's crazy. It did create like a whole nother level of drama that people just eat up, unfortunately,
Stu, I want to know what happened with you, because you're like in the finale when Peter Finch walks up to you and basically says what he saw. So I just wanted to know, like, or you can tell the world who's wondering what that, just like what happened.
Dude was like,
Yeah.
He was just eating nuts. He was eating nuts.
I'm just hanging. And like, if I'm being completely honest with you, I didn't want any parts of being brought into that.
Oh,
I was riding around my cart solo, getting ahead a little bit, talking to my cart cam. I was not interested in making any decisions or being involved in any controversy. So I think my first instinct was more like, why the hell did you just come up to me and tell me that? Like, I'm minding my own business here. And then he told me what it was. And like in golf, like I could see her side of it. And like to the point of like what I saw, she clearly like pushed grass down in front of the ball. Now, where her ball is sitting and where it's resting, I don't think that was affected at all. So I could see how she'd be like, I'm not messing with my lie. My ball didn't move. The grass that's on my ball didn't move. But it's essentially the same thing as like if you have a bush in front of you, right? Your ball's behind a bush and you go in and you just go in the bush and you just like clear out.
I've done that many times.
Sure. And a normal
Cheater.
Yeah. And then like you
But not for $1 million.
Sure. Or like there's a branch of your ball and you like tuck the branch behind you. Like you're not allowed to affect, like you can move dead, loose things that aren't connected, but anything that's connected, you can't like affect to help yourself. And I think that I don't know. I mean, I'll take her word for it that she didn't know that I don't think she was trying anything, mostly because like there's cameras everywhere. So for you to like consciously go and make like a decision like that you know is incorrect, like chances are it's going to be caught on film. So like I believe her that she didn't think she did anything incorrectly. And then the other side of it was that they lost the hole anyway. So that's what I think I was saying to Pete was like, yeah, that's not cool, but like let's see how this plays out before we just like start this firestorm, right?
But it only
which he ended up going and telling Brad anyway. And I could see going maybe to go and tell Brad to be like, yo, I saw this. It doesn't matter because they lost the hole, but like if I'm you guys, just keep an eye out on it. If he came to me, I'm not sure I would go say something. I would have it in my head for the rest of the match to like watch that. But it's also we're making an entertaining video.
But
so
it
like
wasn't.
Maybe that part of me would go say something.
He said something to Brad, and then Brad gets in his cart, and Brad says it to Francis, and Brad was like, "Let's just let it go." And Francis was the one who was like, "Oh, we need to say something." Which I don't know if that was a strategic thing or that was just like we need to get this, like rattle them a little. I don't know why he did that. I totally understand.
The same position on the
I totally
Meloi
understand.
Stuff. I was on the green and I heard Bubby and Micah, who were right with me, talking about the slope with Mo and how they believed that he had it on. And for me, at that point, it's like we're like running this event with Barstool, and I'm thinking to myself like, okay, here's the situation. If no one says anything and then they go on to win, and then there is allegations that someone cheated that never came out, that gets swept under the rug until the video is released, and then there is video evidence and it's not brought out, it's not a good look. So like I went to Dave and I was like, I'm going to say something. So and then you see in the thing, I said, listen, no names. I'm not going to say who it is, but you should do a rangefinder check just to say like people are talking, because at that point, then Dave, he gets all perked up and he gets excited about it. But it needed to be said because you hear people murmuring. It's like at school when you hear people saying stuff and you don't bring it to light, it could create its own narrative, and it could have been detrimental to not just what was happening or to who won, but to the whole tournament of itself.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. I mean, the Paige thing is one shot on one hole, right? That has a very direct outcome, which was not in their favor. So to me, that's like in a vacuum, and like that can easily be passed over in a normal day-to-day session where there's no cameras going. I don't disagree with Francis. You could go either way. You could sit there and keep it to yourself, or you could say, no, let's play ball here. I'm going to go say something. I think probably for the video, it was better that went that way.
Totally.
It's awkward. Now, the Meloi thing is potentially a start to finish every shot affecting situation that, they could have easily won. Like it came to the 18th hole, and like you said, Joe, like this could have affected it. So like to just like not touch it, or to like, every hole they won up until then could have been because of that. There was some talks in like the episode before, right? Or like some sketchy things about like his rangefinder and cliffhangers. And like cliffhangers is definitely a golf course that has significant elevation change where, that is a huge advantage. So I don't know. I'm also we could have done slopes the whole time. This has been a non-issue. I don't know why I fought for it on the first tee box.
FP kind of started this whole thing.
It's kind of a hardo question here, Dave.
It was just like I didn't care what the answer was. If he was like, no, let's do slopes, who gives a shit? It'll speed up play. Great. Like, I just think either if we were all going to do, if someone's out there thinking they can do slopes and there's someone out there that is
you
not
did the right
using
thing.
it, think they can't, you know what I mean? Like, whatever his decision was fine. And he's like, he didn't know. He's like, so what's normal? I was like, well, normally you don't use it in tournament plays. Like, don't use it. And then a text went out, like a mass
It was
text
broadcasted.
that everyone saw, everyone read it.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Dude,
so
Francis,
Lisa sent it out to everybody.
The Francis situation, and now that I think about it, I thought about it before, but I think that is the exact thing. It was like the YouTube golf world and the Barstool world. And in the Barstool world, when something like that happens, you bring it up and you call somebody out, you make it happen. And Dalkey was like, let's just whatever. And Francis like, no, we got to bring this up because that's how their operation runs. And I don't want to say why he did it. I don't know if he did it because of Barstool or like their mindset or because he thought it would rattle them or he just thought it needed to be brought up. But that is exactly what we were trying to do. Like, that is the combination of everything that created this whole thing.
Dude, when he goes, Meloi like announced that he's gonna like make a statement on his YouTube. And by the way, really like Meloi, really nice guy. I will tell you this. I look forward, like that's like a State of the Union. Like I can't wait to see his video to see what he says, because maybe he comes on there and says it was on, I fucked up, I'm sorry. Like maybe he does.
That would be honorable. Yeah, that would be honorable. The thing is, if you're him and you did it, then coming out with that video would be the right thing. But if you're him and you didn't do it, like what's he supposed to say? He did it when he knows in his heart of hearts he didn't.
No.
Right, but then the court of public opinion is just, it's up to them, and it's just like,
that's why with the Paige thing, I don't think she was maliciously doing it. To see her reaction and the fact that for 5 holes after she was so distraught, I really believe that she had no intention of cheating whatsoever, because for someone to get that upset to be questioned about it, it shows like to some level degree, I would think, integrity, that like she's upset that she's being thought of as a cheater and she would never put herself in that position. So I don't know. It's interesting. And the craziest thing out of all of this is while this is going on for like 2 or 3 holes, like they're golfing and people are forgetting about the golf. And Frankie is trying to gather his team by the threads that they're hanging by, and somehow they didn't go down 4 holes. It was pretty wild that they were absolutely able to stick into the fucking race.
Yeah, they did. It became like an afterthought. Even being there at the time, everybody was in the carts talking about it. Like it just became a whole other thing. But also you have like the tense golf, but some of the clips that have come from it, like FP, I watched you and Trent in the cart, that clip 50 times. Like when Trent did the woo, like it was, you had still that YouTube dynamic, like with the card cams that were so funny. Another clip that I thought was hilarious was and like Paige, I don't think Paige was really trying to take a shot at him when Francis is like, he's like, I'm not here to fuck bitches, and Paige is like, not in that. You're not.
Yeah, so good.
What about Daltouche saying to Micah, this is a side gig, I play video games and I'm here to there was some good, and Fasoli running through the fucking fence.
Dude, the Fasoli clip.
I didn't even know that happened.
That is right in my
I didn't know either, because in the finale, we were all watching, or the par 3 course we were watching, and Carney was filming. Carney was from is the Brian Bros videographer, and he's the best like videographer when it comes to like the camera, probably amazing. YouTube golf. So we gave him the lead on all that. So Dave is looking at him in the finale, and Dave like sniffed it out, and he's like, who is this guy? He's like, he's definitely not one of our guys. He's like, who is this guy? And he's just mocking his own guys. And then, so I was like, oh, that's Carney. He's whatever. He's like, yeah, our guys are, driving through fences while this guy's doing that. And at the time I had no fucking clue. I was like, driving through fences? What are you talking about? And then I saw the video. I was like, oh my God, that's the funniest shit of all time.
Well, the Barstool guys were saying, like Big Cat tweeted, like, I've been waiting for this day, like the entire time, having no idea what was coming. And God, that's right up my alley.
I totally forgot about Trent and I's cart, to be honest with you.
So
because all these months go by, we're dumb idiots. Like this is what we do all the time in golf carts. We say stupid shit. So like, it's not like I was like, damn, I can't wait for this video to come out because Trent and I have some bars. I had no idea. All I knew was I wasn't playing golf anymore. So like, I was like, I'm barely going to show up in these videos. And then like, these clips start popping up in your TikTok, and I'm like, God, we are so fat. Like
It was so
Fucking
fun. And then
don't.
us eating the
Really
ice
doing
cream
it.
like while this
Yeah.
is going
Bring
on.
your spoon, Pop. Bring your spoon. Bring your
Yeah,
spoon.
yeah.
Come on,
It's
bring
I
your
will
spoon.
say on one
really
other
good.
note, like we talked about, like a bunch of us getting, eliminated early, like content heavy people. It was cool to see that it opened up the doors for people like Chaz and some of these other people who really have become like unsung heroes of this tournament, and like who people really didn't know about beforehand, and now are like, oh my God, this guy is fucking incredible. Or like seeing Duke and the craziness that this guy had, like it really did open the door for a lot of other people to have a moment, which was cool. And I think that that's what the tournament should be all about. And that's why the format that we came up with, having different people from different skill levels paired in a threesome, it allowed a lot of different people to showcase what they can bring to the table and be a big time player, come up with a moment. Like I think that match against Bobby and Frankie, I think Chaz didn't miss a putt. He made everything. It was fucking amazing to watch.
Yeah, I think if you ask Chazzy, I mean, at least if I were him, and you gave me the option of, hey, I could just give you $330,000 cash, or you could have the showing that he had at the Internet Invitational. Like, it's now gives them the platform where that could change Chazzy's career. I saw him on Golf Digest. Like, he can think about that. Now, Doggy was already on good. People knew him. His stock is through the roof. Like, what it can do for you is cool. So, I know there's going to be many more to come. We actually have a call with the Barstool guys in a couple weeks to discuss the next one, how many people are in the next one. But really, really cool stuff. And we wanted to get on and kind of recap it a bit. So thank you to everybody that did tune in. Keep your eyes peeled for the next one. Now we go back to regular Bob Does Sports videos. The Cutsy Hater series is going to be coming out soon. So now we're getting back into those. That has been another edition of the Bob Does Sports podcast. And as always, we will see you next week.